This is how I create a campground map animation in After Effects. Okay, we're going to go through After Effects real quickly, how to start a project for a map. So we open it here, we go to Adobe After Effects. We're going to create new project. Okay, so we're going to, first of all, I'm going to go save as. I'm going to save as a new project. Map project. Okay, and we're going to, right now, we're going to save this in. You save it in, actually, let's save it in 7. Let's save it in this. And we're going to create a new folder after he. Okay. Okay. So we got a new project. We're going to start a new composition. I like to do it in all HD. We're going to create a new composition. App Learning. And we want all this. I'm going to do 5 seconds with a black background. And we click OK. Okay, so first thing we need to do is bring footage into the project. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go where we have a map. Photos. And I want to grab this map here. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to drag it to After Effects, and we're going to drop it right in there. Okay, so then we're going to create, that's one composition right there. And we're going to go composition, new composition. Okay, we're going to go, let's see, Palmetto Ridge. Okay, we're going to go like that. And we're going to, Palmetto Ridge is open. We're going to take our photo right down here and drag that. We're going to go here also into our Palmetto Ridge composition. We're going to go Layer, New, Shape Layer. Okay. So next thing we do is we go over and we adjust where we want this in the picture right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my picture here, go down to transform, and I'm going to change my position and scale here. So I want it more like that. And let's go up a little bit. I want to make this map right here as big as possible to draw on. Okay, so we got that. Got my shape layer. With the shape layer selected, I'm going to go up and grab the pen tool, and I'm going to start drawing my first line. I'm not going to get crazy with this, but right now I'm going to do this outside loop all the way around. So we start here, and then anytime I want to put a curve, I drag and drag forward. Right now it's automatically putting a stroke, because that's the last time I had it. I had a stroke. Just drag the line, get it straight. Okay, just get it along. Every time that one's going to be corrected there. Just to get that there. That's obviously wrong. Okay, this is going to be a tough one right here. Let's just go ahead and make my lines here. You get the idea. Okay. And there's the rest of our lines. Anytime we want to, we can hit Alt key on any one of these and drag this out to make this line curvier. Obviously it's bad, so we want to do this right here. And anyway, you can fix, you hit Alt, and you can move these, drag them the way you want to. I'm not sure why it's doing that. This one's got to be like this. Kind of like that. So anyway, you can change the lines. I can go here, and I can change this, make it more of a curve like this, if I wanted to, or I could bring them in, make this curve sharper like that. I could add new points just by putting it on there and then dragging it and put it in like that. So anyway, so then I got my line. So over here, you see I got my contents under that shape layer, got a shape, and then I have a path. If it doesn't automatically put a path here in the shape layer, it should, as soon as you hit the pen tool and do a path, it should create a path. But it should put a path here and then a stroke. Now, it might not put the stroke here. You might have to select stroke, select the color here. So I could change it to black right now. Or I could change it back to red. And the other thing we're going to change is you could change the stroke width. So we go to 40, makes it much fatter. Generally we're using 20 here. And then you want, instead of butt cap, you want round cap. And then the other thing we're going to change is we're going to add dashes. So you hit dash, and then you hit gap. You hit dash twice, so you get a gap. And then we're going to go something like that. Okay. So now we got our outline, our path. We have it with a stroke, and we have it with dashes with a gap. And you can change the size of the dashes there by changing that number. And then you change the gap by changing that number right there. But that looks good right there. Let's leave that for right now. Okay, so now we have our dashes and our gaps, and now we have to animate it. So I want this to go from 49 all the way around to that. So hit the V key, okay. So here we have our line. We got 0 and 5 seconds all the way at the end, okay. So what we're going to do is we want to hit, we want to trim this path. So we're going to go up here to path, and we're going to hit add. We're going to, I guess we can do it right here in shape. Add, and we're going to go to trim path. We're going to open up trim path, and now we got a start, an end, and an offset. So we're at the start right here. This is the 0 seconds, and that's 5 seconds. So we want to start. What do you want it to look like at the beginning? So we're going to the start to 0 and the end to 0. We want them both to be 0 at the beginning because we don't want anything on there. Now we're going to hit the clock for both of those, and now we're going to drag it down to the end. I go to 1 frame from the end just so I don't have to drag from the end. And now we're going to change our end. So we change the end to go all the way around to the end. So, whoops, I did that wrong. Okay, Control Z. So what I forgot to do was move it down here. Hold on, let's go here. Okay, so this is the start, right? And we both have nothing. So I'm going to go down to the end, 1 frame from there. And now we're going to hit end. Right to there. And that should be good. Right? Okay, so now let's bring this back. And now we hit spacebar and play, we have our dot going all the way to the end. And that's pretty much it. It'll start playing again. Now what I'll generally do is once I have one up here, I have Palmetto Ridge up here, right? So what I'll do is I'll go up here and I'll hit Control C. Then I'll hit Control V right here. It'll make a second one. And then I'll click on that second one, and then I'll do another one if I needed to do another row here. So let's say, for instance, in here, in this one, I had to go to Contents, and then Shape. So we got our path here, and our stroke. We got our trim paths. Okay. So right now we have going from there to there, right? But let's say I want to cover from 62 to 70. So I'd start to start, and I go to the start one, and I want to start at 62. And at the beginning, I want the end to be also 62. So they're basically right there, but they're disappeared. That's how I want to start. And at the end, I don't want to go all the way to the end. This time, I want the end to go all the way to 70. 70. Okay, so now, when I drag this back and forth, it should go from 62 to 70 only. Okay, so we got, let's rename this one. So we'll rename this one Palmetto Ridge. We're going to go up here, composition settings. We'll change it from 49 to 90. Enter. And then we're going to change the other one, Palmetto Ridge 2. We're going to change that from that to 62 to 70. Okay, so now we got 49, and so let's play each one of these. Okay, so this one is all the way around the loop. And this one is just 62 to 70. Boom. Okay. So now we want to render these two. So I'm going to highlight those two. Oops. I got to do them up here, I guess. 62 to 70, 49. We go up to composition. And we go to add to render queue. Now it's rendered here right now. It's doing best settings. It's full resolution. Looks like it's the right frame rate. It looks like everything I want. And then for the type output, it's H.264 match render settings, 15 megabytes per second. Okay, so that looks good. You got to make sure you have those things ready. And we are on render queue. Oops, hold on. Let's go back to render queue. Oh, we have to hit a destination here. Okay, we have to put the destination. And we're going to put those into our After Effects folder. And we're going to put that into, again, After Effects folder. Now we've got those right. We got both text checked as render. We come over here, we hit render. And it starts rendering them. Okay, finish rendering. We're going to go over to our folder, After Effects, and there's the first render. And there's my dotted line, like that, good. All the way around. Let's see the other one. 62 to 70. This one's slower right there, and you can change all the parameters of that. So we got the two of those, and then I will just copy and paste those into my project. And that's it. And then for each project, I'll probably start a new composition like this. But the most important thing is that in each one of these, you have a shape layer, and then you got a shape, which is the path, which is created with the pen tool. You draw the pen tool, and then you go up to add, and you add trim paths. And this is where you come down here and you change the stroke. You can add a stroke, a color, opacity, stroke width. I always do round cap, and then I usually do dashes, but you can change that stuff here. And then at the bottom we have our map itself, which is right there. We can turn that on and off. So when if I turn on this path, let's go along here to the path, and you can turn the path on and off right there. But I don't think that's turning the stroke on and off. Oh, I see. You can turn dashes on and off. So if I wanted just a straight line, I could turn the dashes off, and then I guess it just makes like a straight line instead. That's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. Let's save this. Alt F9.